Okay, so today we're kind of continuing on with your final web stories. I've got recordings for, oh, that one maybe should say, oh no, there was two that day. That's right, I stopped and then I had to start again. But you're working on your own personal web story, 5 pages. Some of you weren't here to see kind of my example of a finished product, maybe? Did you all? No. Okay, I'll go through that just so you can see. Mine, I think it's in box. And keep in mind that mine's just kind of filled in stuff. So it's not a great example. It's just kind of filled in short. Yeah, business. Oh, I think I downloaded it, didn't I? Did I put it in? Spring 19, I did. Oh, sometimes I amaze myself. I'm kidding. Okay, so this is, again, it's not a great example, but it's something similar that you might do. So what we did, remember a bunch of this we've already set up. We had your name, it's kind of quite big, although when it changes sizes for tablet and phone, again, we change the viewport width font size on that little guy. We have 5 pages, a home page, some sort of professional hobbies, professional organizations, professional something or other. Your resume, your recreational activities. What I didn't change on my example here is the size of the box, but I think in my cascading style sheet I'll show you where I changed that on our example, because ideally they should probably block down one to the next. Your recreational activities are going to be different. And then you had contact, and just for fun, we right-aligned contact. So your page was very similar to this. We had on our home page, we've got, you know, a picture of you, a little bit about the background, maybe what you do for fun, your career goal. So just kind of a basic history of you, quick little synopsis. You can remove the little XHTML10 because this is now HTML5, so we're not validating against that standard. And there is no, we went to look in class, there isn't a little HTML5 validation. Anyway, if you'd like to use the campus picture, you're certainly fine with that. So we've got a very large campus picture. As we go to a tablet size, we may want a picture of Lori in her classroom. And then as we go to a phone size, maybe we'd like it to be a picture of this building. So that's, you could do something similar with 3 pictures. If you have a better preference, you certainly can do that, but you can leave those as is. So I'd kind of like to have you have 3 pictures with varying sizes. So that's a media query with varying sizes of different image for the varying sizes. For your professional related hobbies, mine might be really based on photography. So I use pictures for this class, and that's maybe what I do. It could be that I have joined photography clubs, I have taken classes on the Mountain campus in photography, or maybe through the School of Photography downtown. So it could be all sorts of things. My resume is not very good here, but it could be that this is kind of just my highlights and qualifications, and as a faculty member, maybe I've got a philosophy of me in the classroom, what I believe and how I work. I may have an objective as to what I want to do with my career life, my career goals. On resumes, you don't often see objective, but if a company tells you that they want you to have insert an objective either on your resume or your cover letter, you want to follow their directions. But it is kind of old, I guess, old thinking anymore to put objective on there. My education. You're graduating from the University of Montana, and each of you have a different area. AAS in blah, whatever it is. My relevant experience, so for me, I had some experience, here. I've got some experience on the mountain campus, and in the areas of teaching, scholarship, and service, and again, I'd spell all those things out. Other experience, as an adjunct, I've worked in a law firm and a bank, other places, some volunteer activities, so things maybe I've done volunteer activities within the organization, but maybe they want to know a little bit more about, it's a fundraising position. So I've done a little bit of fundraising. I've scholarship read, I don't know. So whatever you've got going on. Your recreational activities page, so whatever, again, you title that, it needs to be a landing page. So there has to be something there. And it could be a little bit about historically what led you to really liking lakes and rivers. I don't know, cooking. Janet and I had a conversation about cooking. And maybe she started cooking as a young child with her grandma. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's got a different story. And then I am linking to my 2 favorite pages, and I get to going out on Flathead Lake, and I grew up on Holland Lake, and that was my first experience, and that kind of got me hooked. So maybe that's my history on that. Rivers and ocean fishing, never really been a fisher person, did a little bit of that with my dad as a kid, but getting some experience now, which is fun. So again, I might talk about what I'm doing there. My contact information, go ahead and use, if you want to, Missoula College. You're welcome to use this particular address. You can use my phone number if you really want to. I would include your email, which you've already got at the top, so you don't need to add anything else. If you want to make up a map, I've had students make up, this is my brick and mortar, if you've got extra time. Some of my past students have put their picture here, and maybe their home page was something different. Might be a professional related image, something like that. And as far as just, if you right mouse on any page, you can go to view page source, which is basically your notepad view. And I would just copy and paste. I'm sure you already know this, and I think we did a whole bunch of it already. But copy and paste as much as you can so that your menu is set up. I mean, I wouldn't want to redo all that. So as much as you can copy and paste, do that. The very end, you're going to have some footer information, the end of your body, end of your HTML. So make it easy on yourself and try to copy and paste as much as possible. Pictures, it's okay for you to use pictures online. If you're looking for something that's different than the home page, so if you want something that's large but it relates to your favorite activities, when you're looking, be sure you look for something that's probably 1,000, 12, well, actually this was 1201. So probably 1201 or better, because we want it to be clear and nice when it's large. And then again, the other ones, so you wouldn't need anything quite so big for the tablet. So I think we were, 601 to 1200 on the tablet size, and then below 600. And you can hold your mouse on those images and see, the result. So do you feel like you have enough to still work on, or are some of you completely done? Work, 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 work. Kendra, work? You're still working too? Okay. All right, so I'll do work on this today. Do you think Wednesday you'll be ready to move on, or not quite? I was thinking some Photoshop, so some kind of fun stuff. And maybe I could do a little bit of Photoshop on Thursday. And if you still need to continue working, or maybe work on, I'm sure you might have some Photoshop work anyway. That sound all right? Okay, any questions that you'd like me to cover on screen here? Oh, I was going to show you my cascading style sheet. H205. So the cascading style sheet for this assignment that we worked on, oh, the other issue, if we go into Moodle, so I went through this, I think it might have been the day that you were gone, Adrian, so on HTML5, so there's additional instructions. Most of it's here. I'll go ahead or repeat of what we've done, but there's a little bit on our bullet issue that's caused, there we go, it's rolling finally. So for your bullets, we're kind of cheating by using a bullet character and then a non-breaking space. And if you want to have a couple of non-breaking spaces, just copy them twice rather than one. But we're kind of cheating on the bullet because what's happening as a result of our cascading style sheet, when it sees an unordered list, it's not going to do a list style type. It's not going to give us that bullet, so automatically that goes away. There's changes with some other things. There's a background color that happens, and mine happens to be like a lavender color, so then it would turn into one line with lavender. It would also, my bullets would float one to the left of one another because I'm telling it every single list item you see, which is my bullets, remember unordered list item, and it would have a little border, and it would right align that last one, and the drop button and all that good stuff wouldn't go over. Hovers would be a problem. I think there was a color, the color of the type itself changed. I think that's somewhere in here. Text decoration, none. So again, that's why when we move forward, we're going to address that in a better manner with nav elements. So here, because we're just learning unordered list and list items, we're kind of cheating on that whole bullet thing. Okay, so basically it's characters, that's all it is. Okay, and then the other thing that I changed in here, was the size. Okay, so my drop-down content, and yours is probably going to be a little bit different, but remember when you drop down from your recreational to the 2 activities, so I think we keyed 160 pixels, and if that's good for your, the size of your drop-down block, great. If not, you may have to play with it a little bit. I think mine ended up being 178 pixels. So again, that's, I think, the only other color or width adjustment. Colors are yours. You can base your colors on an image that you have within your content, within your image selection. We used Segway. If you want to change that, you can too, but that's fine. I think that's about it. Any other questions on? Okay, so I'll go ahead and let you keep working there and answer questions.